straight. Okay. I think that's about as best as I'm going to be able to get it. Okay. Alright, guys. This is the 6-month update on the 75-gallon mixed reef tank. There's been a couple changes since last time I did a video. Couple more corals added. I got rid of a couple fish. I added a couple fish. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. I added the ruby head wrasse you see to the left over there. And I added a diamond spot goby who is usually in the front of the tank, but he's actually on the side of the tank right now. The yellow tang was kind of harassing him. He harasses everything. I did have 3 other, I had a Naso, powder blue, and a Scopus. Unfortunately, they didn't make it due to the yellow tang. They fought a lot. I added them all at the same time thinking that it was going to work, because that's usually how you do it with tangs, but I already had the yellow tang in here. Plus, this tank's a little small for that many fish, but I did it. You know, didn't really work out. They started to get along, but by the time they started to get along, they already had ick and all types of stuff, and they all just slowly died. I had them for about a month and a half. Yeah, they all slowly died. So that's it with fish. And I haven't added a new fish in a couple weeks, and I'm not planning on adding no more fish. I'm pretty satisfied with the fish that I do have. The ruby head wrasse is actually my favorite fish. I love wrasses. So there is a couple more wrasses that I do want, but I'm gonna let the tank sit for about a year and let it mature. And I'm gonna get I want a leopard wrasse, a couple leopard wrasses, and they're expert level fish. And you gotta have copepods. They like to eat live food, and they're very finicky eaters. So you gotta have copepods and stuff inside your tank, so they have something to eat, because they might not eat right away. It may take a little bit to get them to eat. What else did I want? I added some corals. As you can tell, corals are looking really good. I'm doing awesome with corals. I haven't had any issues with corals at all, really. I got a couple pieces from my brother. His tank wasn't really doing too well. His corals weren't doing good at all, so I recovered. I actually saved his hammer coral and his flower pot, which is on the flower pot corals on the left, on the bottom of the sand, kind of under the rock over there. It still doesn't fully come out, but flower pot corals are kind of like finicky corals. I guess that's what you want to call it, kind of like a finicky coral. It comes out sometimes, sometimes it don't. But since I had it, it's like when he had it, it wasn't coming out at all. Its polyps come out a little bit, but like just like a little vibration in the living room, it'll retract itself. Just if someone stumps in the living room, it'll literally retract itself. That's what I mean by finicky. On the top of the rock in the middle, that green bushy looking tree is some type of Stylophora coral. I love that piece. I actually bought that from Petco. It's been doing good ever since I got it. It looks like it even got bushier. I had it for about a month. Oh, that's right. I ran into a problem with the API test kits with the nitrates. My nitrates were reading 0 for the longest time, but I had algae all through my tank. So something wasn't adding up. Something did not make sense. I was like, this test kit got to be wrong. So I watched a video on the API test kits. Someone else had the same problem. Their nitrates are reading 0. I guess you got to shake the bottle up really good. Like really good for like a whole minute almost to make sure you're getting an accurate reading. So I did that. I shook the bottle up. I retested because I was like, something has to be wrong. My nitrates, there's no way my nitrates is 0, especially the way that I was feeding the tank when I had all those tanks. It was crazy. There was algae everywhere. The tank was ugly. It took a while to get it back to look like this. It looks good now. I'm happy with it. I got some algae on the lower back glass that I'm going to get tomorrow when I do my water change. Scrape it off with a razor blade. So I did the nitrate test, and my nitrates were off the charts. Talking probably like 200 parts per million. And the highest it goes on a card is 160. It was higher than that right away. I mean, it was crazy. And all the corals still look good. So go figure, you know. They say you need your nitrates to be 10 or lower. Well, I definitely do not go by that. I definitely don't. I do not go by that rule at all. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad if you do, but my tank does good. With them 30 parts per million. I keep it about 30 parts per million. If it goes to 40, I'm not worried about it. The tank still looks good. Right now I'm doing a once a week water change, 5 gallons, trying to keep everything steady. I also switched from Reef Crystals to the Fritz salt. And it whenever I have a DKH Hanna checker, and whenever I first started using it, I wanted my alkalinity to stay at about 8.5. That's where it usually is. And that salt mix at 1.026 exactly mixed up at 8.5 alkalinity. Perfect. And the calcium was like 450. Exactly where I want my tank to be. Everything is stable. Everything is running itself. Like I said, I do a water change, 5 gallons once a week. I'm going to eventually cut it back to 2 weeks, but I want to keep everything steady right now. I only have that one SPS coral, so I don't really have a lot of corals that are sucking up calcium and alkalinity, but I tested it. I did a weekly test, and I was losing, so my alkalinity on Sunday would be 8.5, and then the next Sunday I'd retest it, and it would be 8.0. So I was losing 0.5 parts per million in a week. That's not enough to dose your tank. All you need to do is water changes, and everything will be pretty good. It's working for me. Everything's going my way. I am going on a coral haul here. I don't know when. I don't really have a date. I don't know where I'm going. Or, like I said, a lot of corals are more pricier now. Everything went up in price. So this camera keeps moving. Can't get it to stay where I want it. Yeah, everything keeps going up in price. Where I was getting my corals in Pittsburgh, the corals definitely cost more than what they were. But they're cheaper down there than my local area where I live. They're definitely way cheaper down there in Pittsburgh. And they got way better pieces, big colonies. And that's how you fill your tank up fast. I had this tank for 6 months, and it looks pretty good. I got a good bit of corals in there. It's looking like a mixed reef. Can't lie about that. So I'm definitely going to go on another coral haul. I bought a couple pieces from Live Aquaria. Not too bad. I ordered 2 pieces the other day. I ordered a Montipora and a green star polyp. The flight got delayed, so the coral sat on the plane for like 2 days. And by the time I got them, the water was really cold, and both the corals were dead on arrival. So my last time ordering anything online, I'm just going to get everything at a local store, fish and everything. They're all going to come from the store. I'm going to get them. I want to see what they look like before I'm done getting stuff delivered. Because maybe that could have been a problem with fish too. I'm getting fish from Live Aquaria. Not saying the Live Aquaria has bad fish, because they don't. They do have good fish. But all my fish were pretty much delivered. I never seen them before I bought them. So I'm just taking a shot in the dark with getting these fish. I'm not even looking at them before I buy them. I don't know if they're eating, none of that. So, and sometimes when I get them, they don't even eat. So I don't know if they're eating for that or not. Plus, it's so much stress them traveling on a truck. The packages are getting tossed around. I mean, you never know how people are treating the packages. But either way, fish and corals are being shipped somehow. You know? But when Petco or most fish places stuff's getting shipped, the people know that they're shipping live stock. My packages are coming on UPS with other packages, so if that UPS guy says he's in a bad mood, you know, your package could be getting thrown around. You never know what may be happening. So I'm done ordering stuff online. I may still order corals online, because certain corals are a little more resilient. I don't know. As long as they're not sitting in a box for 2 days, you know, they should be all right. The flight got delayed, and that's what happened. I mean, I never had a problem with Live Aquaria. Everything's good. Everything's good there, but I'm just going to start buying everything at the store. It's easy. It's right up the street from me. It's a little more pricier, but at least I see when I'm buying, I can see the size of the coral, because I bought that Sinulera finger leather coral right there in the middle, and it looked bigger on in the picture because everything zoomed in. I didn't really realize that, and I got it. I was like, oh man, it's $150. I could have got this somewhere else for way cheaper for the same size. But it is what it is. I like the coral. It looks good. It's doing well. What else did I want to add? Oh, the water's crystal clear. Got all that figured out. Oh, I wanted to talk about that sand sifting goby that I got. That diamond spot goby, dude, he is the best sand sifter ever. You don't need a sea star. You don't need. Literally, he's like my whole cleanup crew. I wish I could show you before and after pictures of my sand. It was all red. It had cyanobacteria all over it, and it had algae on it. I mean, literally, he cleared this sand in one day. He cleaned it up really well. So I'm hoping the fish do leave him alone and let him go. This is the second goby I bought. I had a sleeper blue dot goby, and then he went missing after like 2 days. Couldn't find him. Christmas wrasse was like hovering around him and wouldn't leave him alone. And I was watching it, but he didn't do nothing in front of me. Next day I came home from work, couldn't find a goby. Gave it a couple days, still couldn't find him. So I was like, all right, he's gone. He got ate. He dead. So I ordered a large diamond spot goby. He's huge. Actually, he's in the corner of the tank right here. I'll show you. This is the diamond spot goby right here. He just kind of chills. He kind of chills. Like I said, he's been getting harassed by this yellow tang. So he's kind of been sitting there for like the last couple hours he's been there. It's kind of weird. You don't usually do that. Usually he's in the front of the sand bed and he's cleaning. So that right there is a head that popped off of my elegance coral like a long time ago, like 6 months ago. And it's still living in there. I literally stir the sand bed, that thing goes, it disappears, and then it reappears on top of the sand bed every time. It's just in there. I guess it catches the food, the little shrimp and stuff I put in here. It's living. It's doing good. Got purple coralline growing all over the tank. Oh, you can't really see that. There's my little pinwheel coral. Very beautiful coral right there. See some of the algae on the back of the glass. But you see a lot of purple in there. There's a lot of purple coralline. A lot. Still got a little bit of cyano right there. I'm going to brush that off when I do my water change tomorrow. Little toothbrush. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the 6-month update. I'm going to try to do a video like once every 2 weeks, maybe at least once a month. And I'm going to keep you guys updated. Thank you for watching.